Day 12. How y'all doing today? It's been quite a great day for me. I drove today at UPS and just overall I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of positivity to spread. I typically do, but there's more days where it's more prominent and more potent. So it was one of those days I had fun interacting with people. I, in general, like interacting with people. I think I'm quite good at it. I don't know what that exactly implies. However, it definitely is it's one of my strengths. You know how people have disadvantages and advantages? This is one of my advantages, is that I'm able to just be able to interact on the fly. And granted, I don't always feel like I don't feel like forcing that myself and forcing a conversation, and it's just it can be an exhausting thing to do, or at least from my experience it could be. I believe that instead of just trying to talk to everyone, which that's not what I exactly do, but for the most part, I try to acknowledge people. I try to ask or say, hey, good morning. How's everything going today? How's your workout? Just normal stuff, right? Not normal according to this day and age, except it's exhausting because it's never reciprocated. It's never, I don't feel like it is, at least. There's those ones in a blue moon, or where someone asks me, hey man, how you doing today? And I'll say good, man. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's basically what happens. It's funny because most of the stuff that gets said in general, like when you ask someone how they're doing today, they always say good. How are you? That's like the most default answer anyone has given, and including myself, I give. So I'm also trying to work on flipping it, because if you ask the same questions that everyone else throughout the whole day is going to be asking that person, why not just ask something that makes them think? I feel like when you ask, hey, how you doing today? And default, you're gonna say good, unless you're really gonna tell them how you feel. But most people aren't. They don't trust you like that. So, they just stick with good. And where do you go from there? How are you going to stand out? Of course, acknowledgement it goes a long way. I feel like when you acknowledge people, you show them that you see them. That's what acknowledging is, of course. And I make that point because I feel like in this society, this day and age, we just walk past people without even looking at them, without even acknowledging that they're there. And of course, we all got our own things that we're dealing with. You know, there you might be thinking about some shit that just happened or whatnot, right? But if you're, let's just say, just walking down the street, you know, just like normal traffic, right? Walking. And of course, you're gonna make eye contact. Maybe do like, I usually do like, this is not how I imagine this video is gonna be turning out. This is just me trying to explain like some random shit. I don't know why I get started this conversation. Well, of course, I said I hope you guys are doing good today. I believe that's how this conversation started. What do you know, eh? Anyways, day 12. It's pardon the noise, by the way. My family's watching a movie. So there's a lot of things I could talk about. And y'all can hear it in my voice. I'm a little stuffed up with my nose. Got the sniffles. It's hard to breathe at night. I wanna I don't know what I wanna. I could read a journal prompt. See, the thing is with these videos, I mentioned before in the past that these are mainly for me anyways, like the content, right? And though I have a realistic expectation of what to expect from this, considering what it is, it's not dopamine pushing content, right? It's not something that's gonna give you the thrill. It's not gonna make you orgasm, whatever, right? It's something that obviously a little bit on the longer side of things. It's what they would say boring, right? And maybe you do think that this video is boring, and fine. Like, I appreciate you giving me a chance at least, and I appreciate you giving me some feedback. If you think it's boring, just let me know it's boring. I'd imagine that someone out there thinks that this is boring, right? People that are TikTok brains, that have TikTok brains, they're gonna think this is like dragging. I mean, what the fuck am I talking about at this point? Nothing. So maybe this is their test. Maybe this is you having to face yourself and being able to sit and consume some content that's perhaps not the best in terms of giving you the most knowledge or giving you the most entertainment or giving you whatever you desire from a video. and it will get there. Trust me. One of these days, when I say one of these days, somebody's gonna be watching this video when it's one of these days, and my life's gonna be changed in the best way imaginable. I can't wait for my life to get better. My life is amazing already, and I don't want to ever seem like I'm ungrateful. I even have to say that. I always feel like I need to say that I'm grateful for X, Y, Z, or that I'm grateful to have this job, or I'm grateful to have whatever. It's like, I feel like I'm having to reinforce so I don't sound reinforce myself so I don't sound as if I'm being arrogant or ignorant or ungrateful, because I can only imagine the polar opposite, right? The polar opposite of exactly where I'm at right now. I'm in a bed, sitting on a bed. Not in a bed, but I'm a med. So I'm a med on the bed, and I'm in my head with these thoughts. So sitting in the house with no couch, with my blouse, you know. So AC on, raise me now. I'm trying to like rap, rhyme, whatever. Trying to find some ways to give it, to bring the flow. I have electricity. I have cool air, warm bed, glasses so I can see, books to read, which I don't read. I will be. I have everything that I need. How can I even gotta ask myself this question. How could I not be grateful? Am I grateful or am I not? And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I, at some points, throughout some of the days, I'm not being grateful at all. And I try my best to step back from this collage, is that a word? Collage? It's like a collage of things. Not clog, collage, a collage. I don't think I'm saying that right. It's like those pictures where they cram everything in, like 20 photos into this one piece of paper. A collage. Yeah. I don't wanna. You have to step away. That's the only way you're able to sit back. That's the only way I'm able to, at least. I'm gonna speak for myself because I'm myself. That's the only way you can ever be grateful. You can, of course, if you're not overindulging in anything or really overindulging in any substance or behavior or whatnot, right? It makes you take for granted what you're doing, of what you have. If you eat too much pizza or if you eat too much food throughout the day, you're gonna have a very low respect. I don't think respect is a good word in this scenario, but we're gonna go with it. Respect for that thing. in this case food, to the point where you might just start throwing shit away, wasting it. And granted, shit does get wasted, especially in my household. I got a big family, so it happens. And but when you don't have these things in abundance, when you don't have the technology in abundance, the pornography, the YouTube videos, the endless video games that you can play, the scrolling on TikTok for hours and hours because everything's so entertainment, or it's so based around that at least. Everyone's doing dumb shit, usually. I do want to give props out to people that actually try to bring value to the other people in their community, because I believe that's what we need to be doing more than anything else. Obviously, we need entertainment, but when you're out there trying to perpetrate an idea that is overall good for humanity and good for each other, for self, yeah, I think you're doing a great job. And even those entertainers, they're also doing a great job, because we need everyone. We need everyone. But what I don't like personally, this is a personal thing I have a beef with, is motherfuckers who act stupid on purpose. And I've been that guy, so it's like, I must hate myself. No, I don't. Not always. Well, I guess I'm not even gonna say hate. I dislike it. It seems too fake to me. At least try to make it like feel real, you know? So I'm not gonna say I hate it, even though that's the most simplest way to put it, right? I dislike it. I dislike when people try to be something that they're not, and it's almost repulsively obvious. That's when it's cringy as fuck. That's when you're like, fuck me, man. I can tell you're just putting on this facade. I can tell you're just doing this for views. I can tell you're just doing this so you're humiliating not just yourself but other people around you. And at what cost? Just so you can have some views. Just so you can do some dumb shit that gets you some attention. That's that why you're doing this shit. Those are the people that I dislike. And I'm all for giving chances. I'm all up for giving second chances, I should say. But in general, I don't consume those people's content to begin with, usually. So, and social media in general, man, it's such a double-edged sword. Like, you can become, it can literally change your life for the best, or it can make you the most miserable person there is. It can put ideas in your mind that aren't even your ideas. It can put ideas in your mind that your parents wouldn't even agree with. And that says a lot. I mean, if you were to look at me, or if you were to meet me, right? And if you were to meet my brothers, I love my brothers, by the way. They're completely different than I am. And I believe it's mainly because of social media. And, well, there's a lot of reasons. That's a really interesting thing to talk about, actually. Because, see, when you're the youngest brother, when you're the youngest of the family, right? You observe everything. You see everything. I've seen it all, and I almost gotta play it like I'm not saying anything. And now I'm at a point where I'm just quiet because I've just observed so much, and I'm like, this isn't it. This is this is not what I want. This is not the type of mentality that I like to have. This is not the type of behavior that I would like to instill or inhibit. You know what they say is you are the sum of 5 people that you surround yourself around, and it's hard for me to imagine me turning out that way. And but that's not true, because if I'm surrounded around people that are like that, eventually that's who you become, right? That's the whole premise of that idea or that term. And it's true. It's very, it's a very, it's very disheartening at times. It feels like I have to do something, but it also feels like I'm unable to do anything, except that I know I am able to do something about something. I am able to make a choice, and everyone should know that you always do have a choice to make. And analysis paralysis, it just hits a lot harder when you're in the situation that I'm in, because I want to be able to support my family. I want to be able to like be there for my family. I want to be able to like see my mom, right? And everything, because those things are important to me. But I also need to grow up, and I also need to get sharpened. I also need character development. I also need my own adventure to go on, and an adventure that shapes me into the man that I'm destined to become. And it's hard to become sharpened or to be ready to fulfill that role that you're meant to play in this life if you're constantly sheltered by the tribe. I hope that makes sense. And it goes a lot deeper than this, of course. It's I need some damn water. It's definitely not something, not an easy decision. I would say it's one of the hardest decisions that I'm ever gonna have to make. And it's gonna have to get done. It's gonna have to be made at one point. Because for me, the regret of not taking the chance, not making the brave move, not taking the chance, man. It's gonna, I deep down already know that that's gonna hurt me the most in the long run. Because I'm gonna look back, and I'm already 24, and granted, yes, I'm young, except here's the thief of joy comparison, right? Comparison is a thief of joy. And I hate to say that I'm comparing myself, but that's what I'm doing. And I wish I could understand that, or I wish I could know that it's not too late. because to me it always feels like it is. It always feels to me like I'm doing things I should have already had things done by now, whatever it may be, right? I mean, if you want to go to the most extreme examples, Alexander the Great conquered the known world, or was conquering the known world by the age 25, or he had conquered it by then. Tupac, look at the impact he made. He was 25. He just turned 25 before he died. There's a lot of young folks out there that they lived a life, a short life, of course, but it's such an impactful life. Woo, bless me. That's disgusting. Sorry. I felt like a little entertainment was in the mood for that, for y'all. So, you're welcome. And back to what I was saying. These people, they lived a short life, relatively, right? But they made such a big impact. There's also been people who lived such a short life, but they made no impact. They're not going to be remembered. And where do you want to fall? When are you going to fall? Nobody knows when you're going to fall, right? Nobody knows when you're going to fall. I murmured that like crazy. So if today was my last day, 24 years old, nobody's going to remember me besides my family. And even then, once they pass away, you get my point. And you may think or ask me, is the point to live is to be remembered? And I would say, why not? Why not? Obviously, you don't want to be remembered to do some evil shit like Hitler. But he's not going to be forgotten, I'll tell you that. Alexander the Great, there's people talking about him, and he's fucking before Christ. Damn. That motherfucker. Oh. Y'all get my point. Tupac. People still listen to his music. That shit's not going nowhere. People are going to be making AI music out of that shit. And it's not because, personally, Tupac, great rapper. I think he's the Muhammad Ali of rap. As in, his career, he was good at what he did. Personally, I love his songs, some of them, but overall, I'm still mixed in a little bit, you know. He was great at what he did. He spoke the truth. He was real, and that's why his music was so potent. It was so revered. Let's just go. Let's just roll. It was renowned, I should say. Also, on the outside, when he wasn't rapping, he was also speaking his truth. He was also spreading a message. He was also helping out his community. And just like Muhammad Ali did. And that's what makes these peoples great. Muhammad Ali's never going to be forgotten. No. He was great at what he did, but he was even greater when it comes to serving his people, serving God. So that's also part of the reason why I wanted to do this YouTube thing. I know that I have a good head on my shoulders. I believe it was meant to be this way. I was meant to have, obviously, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I know what I'm trying to say. There's a reason why I'm like this. And although I'm not perfect, I would not pretend to be that I am. I would not pretend that I am perfect. I will still show up every day more and more so I can serve you guys, serve my community, so I can be not Muhammad Ali, not Tupac, not Alexander the Great, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy. I want to be Ahmed Chowdhury. I want to be a gentleman. I want to be just such an amazing guy, man. I want people to... That's why I love my job at UPS. I get to be this fucking just... I hate alpha. I'm not alpha. At least I don't like to put it that way. I get to be this positive force. I get to be this positive force for people. I get to acknowledge people and be like, and look them in the eyes and be like, hey, baby. I get to strike conversations that they'll remember how I made them feel. So the next time they see me, they're like, damn, hey, what's up? You know? And that's sauce right there. That's the game. People will always remember how you made them feel. They will not remember what you exactly said to them or what you did for them. They will, I mean, obviously, but they will remember how you feel. I got exes, man. They loved how I made them feel. So, I hear from them from time to time, and they're always like, they say things, you know, like, yeah, that's for a different video. Just remember that. And I hope this journey is blessed by God Himself. And He's able to put me in front of the people who really need to hear my message or see my videos or get to see me, have me brought into your life, because or in front of the right peoples. I don't know. I just want to do good by my community, that's all. I want to be a good human being. Just do my part. play my part and just bounce, because that's what we're all going to do eventually. But you know, we got our job to do now right now. So yeah, I apologize for the noise. The besides my voice is all stuffy, right? And yeah, I'll see you guys on day 13. So cheers.